Look at that. Raid 10. Raid 10 Kadavi. Can you believe it? Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Haelian, and today I got something a little special for you, something I've never tried to do before. I have got a few videos from some viewers looking for Hades tips on various ways to play the game, and we're actually going to review the footage that they've recorded for us, and we're going to see if we can help them out. They have some things that they really want help with in the footage. It's not just them just playing the game and just getting general tips, but they actually have a goal in mind for each of these videos. So I'm going to help them out. Hopefully I'm not going to roast them or put them on the spot too much, but hopefully we can be helpful, not just to them, but to anyone who's watching who might be facing some problems. And while we're here, if you got some footage you want me to review, go ahead and send it to me. Send it to haelianplays@gmail.com. That's going to be the easiest way for me to keep track of them and make sure that I have them all instead of just bombarding me in the comments or something like that. But yeah, if you guys like this, let me know, and that way maybe we can do another one. But anyway, let's go. All right, and our first run is sent by the beautiful viewer, Bally, of course, longtime viewer of the channel. Thank you so much for submitting this, Bally. And they've asked for some particular help here. They want help with completing 32 heat with the aspect of Arthur for the sword. And I can see why you might struggle with that. Arthur, I think a lot of people like Arthur, as long as it's at a low enough heat. But once you get up into those higher amounts, it kind of changes. They don't have the 32 heat statue yet, so this is apparently the first aspect that they want to beat it with for one reason or another. But let's see what we can do to help them out, huh? All right, so let's take a look. The first thing we're gonna have to do, I don't know if we can view their mirror or not. They're starting with Poseidon's keepsake, which is interesting. I'm pausing here just because the pact is gonna be incredibly important whenever we start with 32 heat. We can actually, we're not really going to be able to know what the mirror is for them, or at least not the whole thing. But we're going to have to spend a minute here to look at this. So tight deadline 7 is fine. Heightened security, that's pretty wishy-washy. You don't need it at 32 heat. You can put it somewhere else usually. Forced overtime 40%. So I think this is the biggest one that you'd probably want to change here. I think when you're using Aspect of Arthur, it's a super slow weapon. It swings super slowly. Yes, you can get some combos and dash around in the middle of the combos, but 40% force overtime, I wouldn't recommend it for practically any first timer doing 32 heat, but I especially wouldn't recommend it if you're doing Aspect of Arthur. Underworld Customs is off. I definitely recommend having that on. Oh gosh, Bally, what are you doing over here, honey? Turn up benefits package 2. Turn off calisthenics. You have 2 points in calisthenics. You don't have hell mode on, so you don't need any. And yeah, turn off calisthenics. I can't even do the math now. So you get 3 for benefits, right? You get 2. That gives us 5 for Underworld Customs. So yeah, you can turn down calisthenics twice and turn down forced overtime once, and that'll give you still 32 heat. And that looks like a pretty good pact after that, I think. Hard labor at 100% is a bit scary. You could turn that down and do one approval process. I'm glad to see you're not using any damage control here. That'd be terrible, honestly. Oh, the heightened security too, right? That would be tough. Yeah, we'll have to see how we do. And I can probably recommend how else to change the pact after the run starts now, I think, and see what's going on here. Are we going to struggle with the timer? 7-minute timer, and he had 40% jury summons. I don't think it's going to be a struggle, honestly. But we'll just have to see. All right, since we started with Poseidon's keepsake here, I'm wondering what we're going to get. Splash dash, that's how we're going to start? What are you looking for, Bally? The special? Okay. Well, one thing I can say is that Poseidon actually has potentially the highest special damage modifier, so it's not totally outlandish, but it's definitely not what I'd recommend focusing on with Arthur. The main strength with Arthur, as Bally's sweeping through the enemies here, is definitely going to be the attack swing. It just deals a lot of damage. The special is just kind of weak in terms of damage output. You can't use it very quickly. I'm seeing hits for 175. I've tried to make it work where we only do special damage runs with Arthur, and it's just not enough. It just doesn't do enough. It's gonna do pretty well while the enemies are still pretty weak here, but otherwise, look. The other thing I'm seeing here is you're using Stubborn Defiance. You do not use Stubborn Defiance unless you have 100% lasting consequences on already. And you don't want, I don't personally think that you want to do 100% lasting consequences until you're probably in the 40s. If you have beaten 32 heat many times, and that might change. But for now, this is your first time trying to beat 32 heat. You don't want to use lasting consequences then. And you don't, you don't want 100% lasting consequences, and therefore, you do not want stubborn defiance. Oh, whoa, wait a minute, Bally, honey. Okay. We gotta rewind a second here. Okay, so a couple things real quick. A couple things here. So we just picked up a key after clearing that room. So check the wells. You definitely check the wells. There's a lot of good stuff that you could find in there. Things that help your stubborn defiance heal you for more. You could also just get some general health. And if you're not 100% lasting consequences, then you might just want to pick up health. You're not down a lot of health, but you probably want to still peak. You also get the attack jerky. You can get the special jerky if you plan to spam the special a lot too. You probably want to do a Chaos Gate. Now, you only got 84 goals, so you don't have a lot, but you still check. You get in the habit of checking the wells 100% of the time, really. And you're skipping the shop. That is the mid shop. The mid shop, when we say that, it means that it's the shop that you see in the middle of the biome. So you have the 4 biomes, right? The first 3, Tartarus, Asphodel, and Elysium. There is a shop that can appear and usually does appear to get offered in the middle of the biome. Then you have the last shop or final shop for each one, which is right before the boss. There is a chance that you don't get offered the mid shop, as we call it, but you usually want to take it if and when it gets offered, even if you don't have money to spend. Because if you're worried about the deadline at all, yeah, it's an empty chamber in a sense if you only have 84 obols like Bally does here. But, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, in this circumstance, I'm not sure what's correct. Because the hammer is definitely important. You clearly don't have enough money. It's just a question of how dangerous is the deadline here. Get in the habit. Okay, what do we got here? Okay, hold on. This is another important decision here. It works to your benefit to get used to just taking all of the mid shops too, probably. In case you ever do want to speedrun, or if you ever want to push the heat even higher, where you're going to have to be super, super strict on the deadline, right? If you're using the 5-minute deadline and a bunch of other packs, you gotta take the shops just so you don't have to encounter enemies. Because when you take the shop, it means there's a room where you're not fighting enemies. And you can only get offered it once. So if you don't take it, a mid shop, you're not going to get offered it again. Okay, so here are the hammers here. And Bally actually got a few good options here. All 3 of these are actually pretty good for Arthur in different ways. Now, Bally appears to be focusing on the special. But Double Nova... So Double Nova would be okay normally. But Bally's using the Poseidon special. So the problem with this is that Double Nova does not overwrite the Poseidon special knockback. So I know Double Nova says it will no longer knock back enemies when you use the special, but when you have a Poseidon boon there, that's going to overwrite Double Nova. So you are still going to knock enemies away. And I don't remember, but I don't think we're going to be hitting if or any enemies with both specials. I guess you'll be hitting the bosses at least, but the normal enemies, I think you knock them away with the first hit, and you're probably not going to land the second one. Shadow Slash is the best in slot, usually for Arthur. You want to take that. It's juicy, giant damage when you get to backstab the enemies with the attack. And then you want to build up some kind of attack boon with Arthur. This is an interesting run because I don't think I've watched anyone else really do this. In fact, I haven't really watched anyone else play Hades for the most part in a very, very long time, I think. Okay, so kind of a late Meg, but you did land a hit. You did it at the right time for the most part. Okay, so what do we got here? Razor Shoals or Wave Pounding? You do Razor Shoals there. And you do Razor Shoals mostly because it's going to help with the small enemies, and also it'll help deal damage to the bosses at the same time. Wave Pounding only helps with damage versus bosses. I definitely think Razor Shoals, it's a very strong boon in general, actually. Wow, some lucky rooms here. Got a Boldy into Fountain. Okay, beautiful. We're getting Athena. All right, so we're getting the dash, right, Bally? Ooh, you're gonna get tempted, aren't you? Oh, you didn't get tempted. Oh, that epic attack, though. Okay, I would have been tempted by that epic attack. And you don't check the well again. You don't take the trial either, huh? Huh. I would have been tempted by that epic attack. I don't know about everyone else, but yeah, I mean, the dash isn't 100% wrong, but I guess it makes sense that you didn't take the attack since you are so focused on using the special here. But yeah, it's definitely an epic attack, even from Athena, is still pretty strong, and you want to start boosting that damage with palms very, very early. If your main source of damage doesn't get into your hands until later on, it's a bit scary. Artemis, too, here. So we're starting to see a bit of a struggle here, just dealing with the ranged enemies, I think. That room just it felt like it took a long time. It took a lot out of them. What are you taking here? You're really going all in, digging those heals right into that special. Interesting. Not taking the free health. You can't afford a boon. Ooh, not good boons. Yeah. Palming the special? Don't palm wave pounding. Okay. Please, don't palm wave pounding. If you're gonna go in on the special, make sure you hit up the special with it. Let's see how he does against the sister here. And I think this is where it's gonna start to lose its luster. I think the big problem is not just that the special is a bit on the lower damage end, but the fact that we have 30% calisthenics, you're really gonna feel that. You might think it's not a big deal, but I bet this build would actually feel okay, at least, without that calisthenics on. Like, I feel like Tis is actually going down at a decent pace right now. Okay, I'm seeing the other struggle here, and this is more of the Arthur thing, which is that the wind up to use the special is like crazy long with Arthur. It's just hard to get that special off without getting bonked. It feels like you're just constantly getting hit. There goes the Stubborn Defiance already, very early on. It feels like you're gonna constantly get bonked while you're trying to do it. That just happened right there where Bally got interrupted while trying to use it. Oh no, are we going down to Tis? Oh no! You can do it, Bally, I believe. If you dash through, especially with those slowed projectiles, then you would have deflected them all at Tisiphone, by the way. When you have Athena's dash, it might seem risky when you're at that low health, though. I can see that, but early on in the fight, you could have started doing that to try to deliver damage and also avoid the projectiles at the same time. But we got through it. All right, on to Asphodel. Let's see where we're going here with this. No, not Skull Earring. Do not take that. Coin Purse. You probably just start going for safety here. You could either put on Skelly's Tooth. Oh, right, you don't have Underworld Customs on. That feels so weird. Bally, what are you gonna get checking the wells, honey? What's going on there? You hate those wells of Chiron, don't you? You could have found some health in there or something like that. In terms of how you swing and everything here, I don't know if I have strict advice, because it's kind of hard to tell because we're so focused on the special. And Bally goes down to the start of Asphodel. I think it's hard to say where the mistakes were there. So it's kind of hard to say if I have advice on how to use Arthur in terms of swinging the attack. Because I didn't get to see it used very much. I think that your only mistakes were just the outlook on how to use Arthur at the get-go, which is to spam the special. It's just not easy. Is it doable? Technically, yes, but it's not going to be easy to do. It's very unintuitive. It's more of a meme build than anything. And a few loadout problems from the Pact of Punishment thing could have been changed. And Stubborn Defiance didn't really do you any favors there either, I think. You had hard labor at 5, and so if you had swapped some things around, I think you would have had a much easier time. Would you have won the run? Not necessarily, because these things take time. But I think you would have gotten further for sure. In terms of how you want to play Arthur, I mean, you can throw out the special for that ground effect. Definitely on occasion, that's going to feel good. But you really just want to be swinging that sword. And you can dash between the different swings and keep the combo of Arthur going. That way you can kind of keep that ramping damage, because each combo hit goes up in terms of damage each time. But Arthur's a tough one to get used to, especially at the higher heats. You don't see a lot of people beating 32 heat for the first time with Aspect of Arthur. All right, up next we have Bash City, who is trying to do sub 10 with Aspect of Chiron. So under 10 minutes in-game time using Aspect of Chiron. Another long-term viewer, thank you so much for submitting. Let's take a peek to see what Bash has got for us. Let's take a quick look here. So Aspect of Chiron, very highly favorited aspect amongst most players, new players, old players, whatever. I love Aspect of Chiron, so I can definitely understand, but it is a tougher aspect to speedrun nevertheless. So you kind of got your work cut out for you if this is where you want to focus. It's definitely possible. It's definitely possible, but it'll probably take a bit more practice and grinding than some other aspects that if you were going to try to get sub 10 in general. But let's take a look at what we got for the mirror here. So everything looks pretty standard using high confidence. Privilege status. I mean, Chiron definitely lends itself to be better with privilege status. I think for the average speedrunner, you probably wouldn't go for that. Though, because you don't want to have to sacrifice parts of your build in order to activate privilege status. You'd rather just focus on a very, very specific key set of boons. Also, you have to wait for privilege status to kick in sometimes, etc., etc. God's Legacy with aspect to Chiron. It kind of depends what your starting keepsake is going to be. We'll have to see, but everything else looks normal after that. Looks pretty good to me. You could probably swap Infernal Soul for Stygian Soul, and that way Hermes boons, one will get removed from the pool if you use Stygian Soul over Infernal Soul. Because Flurry Cast will not be offered to you if you're using a Stygian Soul. Okay, whoa, we got Dionysus's keepsake going on. That's interesting. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty standard pack setup. Extreme measures too, forced overtime. They're only going for one for safety. No tight deadline to try to see survival rooms. What do we got from the hammer? Relentless Volley is probably where they're going to go with this, right? Yep, that makes sense. Okay, so that's kind of your stock standard Chiron build. So Dionysus on Chiron, it works. It's a good build, can be a good build. Is it a good speedrun build? You're not going to deliver as much damage, especially starting with Relentless Volley, than if you simply started with Artemis on the special, or even Aphrodite on the special there. But your privilege status choice makes more sense now. I'd probably say keep that for the most part. But yeah, if you're going for sub 10, ooh, we have to roll. That's too bad, huh? If you're going for sub 10, oh no, that's just bad luck. Okay, we got it. Oh, that's bad luck right there. If you're going for sub 10, skipping Demeter there. With privilege status, I think you go for Demeter. It sounds like you're going for a very specific build here. It looks like that. It looks like you want to get Dionysus on the special, of course, which makes sense. And then you're really hoping for like Aphrodite's attack probably, so that you can get the Aphrodite Dionysus duo boon. And then maybe, or Ares is the third one, right? Because they have a duo boon too. That's a good build, but it's not a great speedrun build. If you're gonna go for speed, you really are going to want to do just throw Artemis in the special, one boon build, and then you just pray for the good hammers. If you don't get them, you probably got to reset, and boom, you're all set. Okay, good Meg Summon, just the right perfect timing for that. It's tough to get the sneak sometimes. Okay, you did good though. Okay, that was good. So let me guess, you got the duo right away? Boom, love it. So the truth is that this duo boon doesn't actually offer that much damage more, sadly. Especially when you have Relentless Volley actually helps with the duo boon. Never mind that, I guess. But I think this does not increase your power level all that much, especially relative to other speedrun builds again. But you definitely got lucky in that you got it going on early. Okay, so we got Artemis. Let me see. Pressure points probably is what I'd recommend. True Shot. I was about to tease you if you took the call, but the call wouldn't have been wrong. But I can definitely say that True Shot was not correct there. You don't need it. It's not really gonna, it shouldn't help really. I wonder is it possible you're using a wireless controller? It's not a massive delay as you can imagine. Make sure you gift Boldy first from now on, just because Boldy's cool, by the way. But sometimes it can make you mess up, really. It can delay your reaction times. Okay, good. You check the wells on, like, Valley. Yeah, nothing good there. We got Chaos. I forget what chamber we're on. Is that the final shop? If you're doing in-game time, you could take Chaos Gate. It sounds like they're thinking about it pretty good here. So I think that was the final chamber. So you could take the Chaos Gate here. But since you're doing Dionysus on the special, something like more special damage isn't that important here. It's really mostly the hangover damage. Well, actually, it definitely doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? So here we go. We have 45% special. Are you taking it? You took the dash strike. That's okay. That's understandable. Hermes and who was that? Artemis? You probably do Hermes here. Oh, took the shop. I wonder why. I wonder what the logic was there. Oh my god, they got the Ares boon. To get the Ares duo, you need a Doom boon, though. You'd have to roll and get Curse of Vengeance. We didn't get offered Curse of Vengeance. Yeah, Battle Rage isn't super helpful here. It's not the worst thing ever. Hyper Sprint, Hyper Sprint, Hyper Sprint. Okay, yeah, don't get tempted by that special speed. The special speed and attack speed from Hermes, it's very conditional. It's just super dependent. If you don't see a 30% being offered, it's probably not worth even considering. So where we're struggling here, and this is the struggle of Chiron in general, it is dealing with large amounts of small enemies. And so that's why if you actually watch Chiron speedrunners that play with Chiron a lot, guess what they start with? Poseidon's Keepsake, and they take Tidal Dash right out of the gate. Tidal Dash is just that good, sadly, I'm afraid. I know it's probably not how you want to play it. I know. It's probably not how you want to play the aspect, and it definitely makes sense. Oh, you have to sell something. Oh, and you earn no money? Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. I thought we were on 32 heat still. Never mind, never mind. Okay, so it's probably not how you want to play the aspect where you don't even focus on using the special that much against enemies. You focus on things like Splash Dash and blah, blah, blah. But I'm afraid if you really want to push the timer down, that's going to be the easiest way to do it. This is definitely possible, but you're kind of just going to have to get luckier in other ways in order to make up for it, potentially. So I really recommend, if you really want to push the time down, Chiron, start with Splash Dash. You can still go for, you know, special boons, special hammers, special damage in general, but you gotta have that Splash Dash just to get you started. Get out of Tartarus around the 2 minute, maybe 2.5 minute mark at the latest, probably. So from Artemis, oh yeah, Artemis has that duo boon too. Oh, wait a minute. Is that why you took True Shot? I just realized, because you want the duo boon. It's not worth it versus the benefit you could have gotten from getting like pressure points or even the call boon at that point in time. I think you got Heartrend offered instead. I'm almost gonna pause here. I guess I don't need to though. You don't want Heartrend. You don't want Heartrend. Take pressure points, please. Okay, good, smart choice. Because the only crits you're getting at this moment if you took Heartrend are from the cast, and increasing the cast damage right now is not helpful. Okay, we got a 50% rush delivery. Okay, that's good. You took it. You definitely don't gamble. You don't have any rolls anyway. Never mind. But yeah, Hyper Sprint plus Rush Delivery, that's what you want to get in every single speedrun. I don't think there's any speedrun where you wouldn't want to shoot for that. So, good going with that. Do we buy that Palm? I don't think so. I don't think you needed to. Hitting up pressure points. Nah, I think I would personally hit up the special. I don't know what the mathematical difference is, but I'd hit the special if I would buy it. But I probably wouldn't buy it there at all. Save money. What do we save on money for, though? I guess, you'd want to save money for potentially an Aphrodite or Artemis. Sorry, Dionysus or Artemis boon from the next mid shop. We might have enough money anyway, who knows? Oh, it's so hard to get that duo boon. It's so hard to get it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, though. Don't do it. Poseidon. Oh, okay, so now you're going for Splash Dash. Okay. Yeah, just switch it up. Go for Splash Dash first at the start. Artemis on the special. Get those special hammers still. You'll be cruising. I think you'll have a much better time in general. Okay, what do we got from the second hammer? Oh, it's all attack stuff. You take triple shot there. Yeah, 100%. That's definitely the best hammer out of those. We didn't get concentrated volley. That is the best in slot hammer, is concentrated volley. For Dionysus. That's going to be the one you really want. I guess Relentless Volley might be better if you're using Dionysus, but like I said earlier, I don't recommend it. Okay, Splash Dash, Epic Splash Dash. Okay. You probably buy that Meg. Buy that Meg. Come on, you're so short on Megs, Bash. What are you doing? Come on. Oh, so now we only got 2 Megs. So you basically got it for the heroes and Hades at this point, and you can't use it on any of the mini bosses. So we were short coin for that Aphrodite boon. Although Aphrodite is not that helpful anymore anyway. But yeah, I guess that it would have been nice to have kept that Palm money that we spent in order to potentially afford a boon there. I don't know. That's a tough choice, actually. Now, your single target damage is really high. Look at this. This is good, right? This is actually amazing. Okay, and we got... Take that Razor Shoals. Come on, take it. Come on, take that Razor Shoals. Right there. Yeah. That's the one. That's the one. Razor Shoals. Good boon. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. Come on. Bash. 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 Yeah, baby. There you go. It's a good boon. It's a good boon. Trust me. It's not as good as Breaking Wave. His Breaking Wave was there I definitely recommend that. Helps you get through sticks a lot faster because of those narrow hallways and everything. But Razor Shoals is still a very strong boon to take there. So far, the rooms aren't that lucky. This is one of the big things about speedrunning Hades, is that it's a roguelike. So there is a systemic, large amount of luck you're just going to need. It's not all just practice and skill. You just need certain things to happen in the game to get a lower time. Simple as that. Things that are totally out of your control. There's always some minor things that you can do that might be able to help you out. But for instance, the sack and sticks, there's no way to help yourself. It's a simple 56.8% chance whether you get the sack on the second path or not. That's it. There's no manipulating it in any way. So there's always going to be that element. So don't be afraid. This is not me telling you to reset the run or something like that if things don't go your way. Play the game and have fun the way that you want. But if you're really shooting for a specific time, it takes time more than it takes anything else. What do you got? There's splitting headache. So now we got the 1.5% crit chance for anything for per stack of hangover. Is that what it is, right? And I believe you already have heart rend. So it's almost like your single target damage. This is what happens with Chiron, and especially this particular build here. Our single target damage is incredibly high, right? But our crowd control ability and our AoE damage is not high, unfortunately. And so we're just not gonna be able to handle the small enemies as quickly as some other builds could. Chiron actually struggles with this in general. It's not just the way that the decisions that Bash made. This is the problem that Chiron has and why you'd start with Splash Dash most of the time here. But wow, look at the heroes go down. That damage, holy cow. You really got almost the ultimate makeup here. All right, so we took both mini bosses to start. That's definitely the right thing to do for a speed run. Those mini boss rooms just go way faster than the regular room, where you actually have to wait for the enemies to spawn in and all that jazz. Take the Icar if you got hyper delivery, by the way, of course. Definitely. That's going to be a massive help. The attack jerky maybe you didn't need, but in a speed run, you've already got the well open. This way, even if you spend all your money, like, you don't really want to have to go to the shop before you go see Hades anyway. So that's fine, really. So sub 10, do we get sub 10 this run? I know they said it was an attempt, but it looks like it's going to be close. Oh, see, we didn't get a 2 sack. Yeah, it just kind of just goes back to the whole, it's just going to take several attempts. I don't know how long you've been working at it, but just if you keep going, you definitely got this, Bash. If you just keep putting in the effort, you're definitely going to get there. Oh man, Hades is just melting. You don't really need any help here. There's definitely no problem with this. Now, if you're using like the builds that I keep pointing out with concentrated volley, hopefully, and Artemis special, they might not go down quite as fast, but hopefully you're going to have that crowd control that'll make up for that time. But it'll get close. You can still shoot for heart rend, even if you have the Artemis special. Yeah, Artemis special, you can shoot for heart rend. Sure, why not? Why not? So 11:08 was the final time. Really good time, honestly. Well done, Bash. I'm proud of you. Hey, it's a new record for you too, right? So as long as you're making progress, that means you're going in the right direction. Boom, 11:08 was the final time. You did a good job. Honestly, I think it's just the loadout that you got to reconsider if you really want to start pushing it down. Start with Splash Dash. Pray for concentrated volley. Take that Artemis special. Maybe take the Aphrodite attack if you happen upon it. I don't know if you should force it necessarily. Think about Charon's keepsake somewhere around Elysium. Hyper sprint and rush delivery. Great job grabbing those bad boys. But yeah, you definitely got it if you keep pushing it. I mean, you don't even have that many clears on your file, so you're doing a great job, honestly, for how much time it looks like you have in the game right now. So well done, Bash.